receiving it from the Queen. Peter Rodrigues, the cup for Southampton.
Well, I remember, I remember staying in the hotel just over the M5. I don't know the name, I can't remember the name of the hotel, but I could take you to it. And a lot of the lads the next day were quite ill, so we thought it was food poisoning. You know, I mean, a lot of the lads had Bobby Stokes had been sick, and a few, and he scored a goal that afternoon. But it was before there was only one sub in them days, and. I always remember going to the game and thinking, bloody hell, we're lucky to field a team, never mind anything else. And it was a wet, dull old day, it was damp, And I always remember, the little things you remember about the game was I always remember running up the left wing after about 10 minutes, and all of a sudden I heard someone coming up beside me going, and I thought, hey, the bloody hell is that like, So I looked over my shoulder, and it was Nick Holmes. And Nick Holmes was this was after 10 minutes, and he's the fittest bloke you had, So whether it was food poisoning or something, but he certainly wasn't very well. And I always remember he couldn't keep up, he was tried to come on an overlap and couldn't make it. And so that was the first thing I remember, that a lot of the lads were ill that day. And the rest is, it was a pretty boring game, as I said. It was a dull, wet day. And Stokesy got the equaliser. I think that's about all I can remember it. And we took them back to the Dell. And well, the rest is history. I scored a hat-trick in the replay. Scored a hat-trick in about 24 minutes or something like that. I don't know exactly, but I think it was in the first half, was it? Or there were two in the first 10 minutes or something. It was one of them games. A great atmosphere at the Dell in them days. Well, it always was a great atmosphere at the Dell, but. I think we scored after about 2 or 3 minutes, and then again, the game was over by half time. I think we won 4-1, right?
You didn't, were you sick from the hotel?
No, I wasn't, funnily enough. I wasn't, I had no complaints on that, I mean, it was, but I know a few of the boys had been pretty, Bobby hadn't been well, and Nick Holmes, as I said, and a few of the other teams. As I said, it was the day before, it was the time before it was one substitute in them days. You had to get the team out and get on with it, and that's what happened. But it wasn't a very good game. I can remember that, but it was a slog really. It was a question of surviving, And in the FA Cup, in the FA Cup, they're the ones who had to survive. A bit like the Aston Villa game, the first game, that we drew. We went back to Aston Villa and beat them, But dour games, nothing. Nothing to really talk about, and yet, we murdered them in the second leg. We came out firing, and like I say, there was 28, 30,000 people in the Dell, and the place was electric, And
receiving it from the Queen. Peter Rodrigues, the cup for Southampton.